All right, we'll call to order the planning board meeting Tuesday, October 28th, 2014. Is there anybody here from the public to speak for something not on the agenda?
I don't have it back there.
All right, Harry, come on. Get a little chippy here. Minutes from the October 14th meeting. Everyone have a chance to look at them?
Yes.
Yes? Any errors, omissions, anything like that? No? Looks good?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No abstains, obviously, because you weren't here.
Well, I thought I wasn't supposed to do anything unless you needed me for a quorum.
That's
Otherwise, I say they're like a bump in a log.
That sounds-
No, you can do administrative items, no
I can
problem.
interact, okay.
Yeah.
You can interact.
Yeah, you can definitely
You
talk.
have the ability to do anything.
Oh, all right.
You'll be first in the service, believe me.
You are serving as a quorum tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, you're a full member right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, no A&Rs, so we have the site plan amendment for 123 Union Street. Karen, want to come up and chat about this? Tell us what's going on?
Sure. Basically, we're just looking to get the top floor zoned as well for professional space as the other floors are. When we first brought it forward, I wasn't 100% sure what we were going to do up there, but we were looking for the office space, so it looks like that's the direction we're going to head.
And what do you see going in that top floor as far as space, numbers, what's there right now? It's just storage.
Right now,
right?
storage.
Is it just one open space? What's the square footage for that, you know, ballpark?
Total square footage is around 4,500.
Okay.
But there'll be some common area in there.
Yeah. Have you separated it out yet, or it's all
No, I
open
can't
still?
get a permit on it until
Okay.
we change this.
So do you have a plan for what you are looking at, or see what people want to do?
Yeah, basically there'd be a common hallway that connects the corridors, which is per code, handicap accessible bathrooms, which again is the code requirement. And from there, it's gonna be, we'll advertise it for lease. It could be anywhere from 1 to, we probably get 6 smaller suites up there.
Okay. And it's gonna be just professional, not retail or anything like that?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess you don't really know at this point the impact on sort of parking or traffic or anything like that, because you don't know how many people will be up there or anything.
Not really. I mean, we have, so far, we've had ample parking.
Yeah.
And on a given day, there's probably 20 spots open, so.
And coming in and out of the driveway, no problems with any of that?
No.
Okay. And you got the haunted house in there right now, right? What floor is that on?
First.
The first floor?
Well, I guess, depends on how, Jessica could chime in. Joe has a different vision of the floor labeling than what's on the special permit.
Right, as far as what's the basement versus the
Yeah,
first level?
and they're notified of that, so I don't know if we want to sort of fix that
Fix that
and
now.
address that
Yeah.
as part
You
of the
know,
permit.
the haunted house either on the first or the second.
Yeah.
How do you want to look at it?
I mean, the other thing, just looking at it beforehand and getting ready, I don't think there's a problem with what we have here, but there's a permitting for indoor amusement, which it might make sense just to clarify that and put that in there so that it's all clean. It
If
can't
you don't have a
hurt.
problem with it, I don't see any reason. Just adding it as a use.
So it's specifically authorized. I mean, I think it probably falls under the sort of retail space as it is, but just to clarify, because there is a separate authorization for indoor amusement.
I don't have an issue to add it. I prefer not to restrict it.
No. I would just add it so that it's specifically authorized as well. I think that makes sense. So when you say it's on the first floor, it's literally the lowest level, or is it the?
It's what we call the first ground level. It's ground level on Union Street. Technically, according to what the building permit's the second floor. The first floor
Is the one, the basement that's?
right with the 2 loading dock area. The basement
Okay.
area is technically the first floor.
And
Okay.
I think the reasoning, just to clarify, is in the building code, it has something to do with the amount of
Yeah.
wall that's
Exposed.
exposed, and in the back, the majority of the floor is exposed.
exposed,
In the
yeah.
front, you don't
Really-
see it, but in the back, it's exposed, and because of that, Joe said this is not considered a basement, because it's not underground, it's actually a first floor because of the exposed wall. Is that correct, Kevin?
I mean, it's never been verified. I think it's
Depends which side you're on.
very close, but there's really no reason to spend the money on a survey to debate what the floor is called.
Okay.
There are uses that we were thinking about on the top floor that would have been an issue. I think that's why the whole debate even came up.
Okay.
But with the professional space, it doesn't matter.
Okay. You guys have any questions? Harry, any questions?
So I just kind of, got any idea what's going to be going in there? Any idea at all? Anything you'd like to see go in there?
We get a call probably every 2 weeks from somebody looking for space. The vast majority of that is people coming from the mill buildings, Pleasant. And that ranges anywhere from web developers to a lot of therapy. That's basically what we have right now is on the second floor, it's 3 suites. We have probably 20 therapists in the building right now. Huge demand for that.
You talking about physical therapy?
No, more psychiatry, that type of thing. That's what's been on there. There's just a huge demand for that. So what comes when we actually advertise it, I don't know, but that's what we get the calls for now is a lot of IT things and a lot of therapists. So I'm assuming that's what's gonna end up there.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that much of a call for psychiatrists.
And
Are you kidding? You talk to the people in this town?
I mean, I know things are a little hectic here and there, but I didn't realize it,
Yeah, we have a lot.
No kidding.
Yeah, we have 2 suites that they don't have
Maybe I'm missing
individual
out on
offices.
something.
Well, there's the social work school at Smith, so I think a lot
Right.
of people are come out of that graduate program and are looking to open up their own.
Yeah, well, the 2 suites that are in there now, they consist of about 4,000 square feet, and they were all therapists that actually came from Northampton. And wanted sort of Class A office space, but wanted parking and didn't want to pay $30 a square foot. So, I was surprised, but we've been getting flooded with requests for space.
I mean, that's gotta be pretty cool. I mean, it's just like, you're not storing anything, there's no business, there's all these people coming and going, and people using their brains, I mean,
Yeah, they're great tenants, and it's
Yeah.
very low use on the
Yeah.
building and very sporadic, so it hasn't been a parking issue or anything
Right.
like that. They're not all in there at the same time. They all work for maybe 3-4 hours a day. It works out really well for us, so I'd be willing to bet that's what we end up with on the top floor.
All right, anybody have any problems, any other concerns? Planning department, any questions? No? So, can we get a motion? I guess we need I would like a motion that not only modifies the special, or the site plan approval to allow professional space on the top floor, but also specifically authorize indoor amusements as well. I think that makes sense, just to clean everything up. So you want to make a motion?
Why don't I try it? But am I gonna get it right my first try?
That's all right.
Okay,
I'm a
doesn't
new
matter.
planning board member, so, okay. I move to modify the special permit to.
Site plan approval.
Site plan approval plan, site plan approval,
Yep.
okay? To allow for office professional space use on the 3rd floor?
Let's
or
just say top
fourth-
floor.
Top floor.
top floor, yeah.
And in addition, to add, what is it called, indoor amusement?
Yeah, there's an indoor amusement use as well.
Indoor amusement use
That'd be the 2nd floor.
On the second floor.
on the 2nd floor. Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yes, Jess, do you something to add before?
I just wanna make sure that when I draft the decision, can I put in either in the findings or somewhere clarifying the floor numbers?
Yeah.
So that it's consistent and clear, and I just wanna make sure that doesn't need to be part of the motion, that's all.
Well,
I mean, I can just make it
I
as
mean, I don't
part of the
know-
description part in the beginning, which is fine.
it sounds like that's what the building department has an opinion on that, but I don't know that we need to I don't wanna validate that officially if
In the
he
decision.
disputes that. I don't wanna, but I don't know how, maybe
Well,
Can we say for like identification purposes, we'll refer to them as 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna authorize indoor amusement to the second floor as
Well,
part of
that's
your
what-
motion, we need to clarify what is the second floor.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's the only, so either you wanna say that as the,
we
you
could
the ground,
refer-
you could say it as the ground floor?
the ground, well, I would probably refer to it as the ground floor. off
On Union Street?
So because the permit says activity in basement floors 1, 2, and 3, right? That's what the original.
The original
permit says.
decision made it pretty clear
Yeah,
about,
So we should stick
Basement
with
number
that
side.
unless it's changed?
I mean, is there a reason other than, it only came about if we were gonna do any type of entertainment on the top floor.
right, it had to do with assembly, right?
The thing is all of our plans, the approved plans, the site plan and everything that came to planning last time, everything is labeled basement 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
I don't know if there's a reason to mess with that unless,
that's fine.
In which case,
I
we
just
need to
wanted,
amend
I just wanted to
that.
clarify that
Right,
the motion
right.
doesn't say second floor.
Yeah,
It
right.
actually
first floor,
means first
you know.
floor.
Right.
Mine's first floor, so.
I think either first floor or ground floor.
yeah.
Basement, ground floor.
I'm-
2 and
I'm
3?
asking him.
Well, do we wanna
I'll
say
let the attorney at the table.
on the
Let's just say first floor, since that's what it says.
first floor off of Union Street? Or with the entry on Union Street? We might as well make it clear.
How about I write first parentheses ground floor off Union Street?
And you think that's how they're reflected in the plans?
Oh, I know they are.
Okay, so maybe we
So-
say as identified in the plans with the original
Yeah.
site
Okay,
plan?
I'm adding this to the motion.
Yeah, no,
because
we'll redo it.
Okay.
We'll talk about the language.
As identified in the, how about
Original-
site plan.
Yeah.
The site
Application.
plan didn't have a building, didn't have levels, did it?
The
No, it was
site
only a
plan
site
did
plan, I
not,
sent it
but-
to you guys. What did I send you?
I thought our original application had
This.
floor plans.
This wasn't the application though, this was, or maybe it was.
I think,
That's what-
I
This
think,
came with the decision you sent out.
I don't think you gave me building plans, I think you only gave me a site plan.
No, we may not have had them at that point.
I don't think you did.
But my permit references it to the plans,
Okay.
which are referred to as basement 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so I have written down, I move to modify the site plan approval to allow for office professional on the top floor. And again, I can say on the third, parentheses, top floor.
Sure. Yeah, then that defines every other floor.
And in addition, add indoor amusement use to the first parentheses ground floor off Union Street as identified in the original.
Well, we don't have to do as identified.
Okay,
But plus, if we define the top floor as the third floor, then by definition it goes 3, 2, 1 basement.
yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
Do you want to redo it
Yeah.
or are we not,
Do-
Harry? It's up to you. I just want to make sure we have it
I think
clear.
we know we have to.
I think that we can take that as as Libby's
As a mod-
motion,
as a motion.
modified.
Yeah.
Harry, you still want to second that?
Yes.
All right, all in favor of the amended motion?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, okay.
Sorry to complicate the issue. I just wanted to be clear.
problem.
I just wanted to be
Just
clear.
cover
All our
It's
bases.
hard to
Clear as
believe
mud.
that Fort Lauderdale, Florida, they're all gonna.
Yeah, right? All right, Kevin, well,
All right,
thank you.
great,
Good luck.
thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the release of the performance guarantee for Hendrick Estates subdivision.
There's nobody here able to attend tonight, but I think I can answer any questions that you might have. I think I've given you all the information that you needed and probably more than you actually needed, but I'd like to be thorough. So there's a performance guarantee that's been on this subdivision for quite some time. They're requesting the release of the $20,000 performance guarantee. They sent the release on October 16th, and the city council has accepted this as a public way. There's memos from the city engineer. I gave you a copy of his previous memo from 2006, so you can see where he had issues and how he set the bond at $20,000. And his very brief memo stating that everything is set and he's got no issues with the current development.
Yeah.
So, seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, I think he's sort of the judge on all that. He set all the standards and he says they're done, so that'll be my thought. Anybody have some problem with that? Can we get a motion to release the performance guarantee?
I'll make a motion to release it.
All right, we a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right. So, the only other thing on here is the proposed draft public street policy that's being circulated. I assume you all had a chance to look at it. Jess had some comments that she sent back that we were all CC'd on that I think.
Did I CC you, or did I might have just sent it, I don't know who I sent it to.
I don't know if I saw those.
I'm not sure if I sent them to everybody, I might have just sent them.
Just me. I was like BCC'd or something, so I don't know who
okay.
else it went to.
Oh, I think.
They're
Oh, yeah, it's in this
extensive,
version.
yeah. But I think that it looks like it's still very early in the process. And looking at the request from the Public Safety Subcommittee, I think that most of the feedback they were looking for wasn't necessarily from us as much as the planning department.
But I think that if you, reading this, if you have any opinions, any questions, I think what they're looking for is, not, I don't want to say brainstorming, but suggestions of how the process could work and how the planning board is involved in the process when it comes to public way acceptance.
Did any of your comments kind of speak to that?
I think so, I
Yes.
think mine, here, why don't
You
you
can
pass
look,
them along?
yeah.
I think my biggest issue, I didn't think it was very clear on how it was currently drafted on who gets what when.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty used to, we have a pretty set in stone special permit process or a site plan approval process where the application goes to one person, that one person disseminates the information to all of the appropriate parties, those parties comment, those information comes back to the central decision makers. So there's a process involved, and it was hard for me to understand who gets what when and at what point. I'm not sure if they've figured that out yet or not, but I think in general, if there's anything that the board feels like was missed in this very general sort of summary in terms of the process, then now would be the time to provide them with that comment, and then they will incorporate it as they move forward with future drafts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that your stuff hit on everything that I was looking at, and I think that it sounds like we will probably have at least one future version that we see again. So
And I'm happy to send out what I
Is that,
sent to
is that true that we will have another version?
I don't know for sure, but I would.
I don't know, but it's going through the Public Safety Subcommittee, so I can keep people notified of when the subcommittee is meeting, and if you want to attend those meetings and provide comment as planning board members to those meetings, I certainly think they'd be more than happy to have you there.
Yeah, I guess I would be interested in seeing whatever the next
What-
draft
what-
of this,
yeah.
because it seems like it's not, looks like you've thoroughly annotated it. I did find a typo,
Yeah, I don't think we're at the type stage yet.
but that's, so,
It has more to do with, and it needs to be clear to the development community, I don't,
right.
we have enough of a reputation of people running around trying to find the right parties to get signatures or to whatever it is in terms of getting through a process. So I think it really needs to be clear in terms of what's in the application, who does it go to, how long do those entities have for reviewing, who's the person that's collecting all the information. It's unclear whether that would go through the city clerk's office or whether it would go through the planning department. So,
Well, you got this thing over here, it says best on water.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck is that?
I don't know.
Well, this is an early draft,
I mean,
but yeah.
You have 3 days to complete your mission.
Yeah, it does have that feel to it. Well, and it seemed funny that the purpose behind it was largely to simplify things and make it clearer to people, and I couldn't tell what the heck I would have to do if I was in their shoes,
Right.
so.
Yeah, same.
But I think that it's early stages, and I think that they will clean it up.
So what should I convey back to the council members that are working on this? Should I say that the planning board reviewed it and had, I don't know,
I mean, I think that it's hard, I think that, at least for me, my preliminary concerns were addressed by your comments. I'm sure they're getting comments from other departments, and so I would say that your notes addressed our initial concerns and that we're interested in seeing future drafts.
Okay. Call it in,
I think that makes sense. Does everyone agree with that? Harry, do you never want to see this again?
well,
I think it'll be a good thing. I think it's a good project.
I always think it's good when the process is clear
Yeah,
and all the parties know what they're supposed to do.
right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And one more thing, to just give them a sheet that they can go through, checklist, and figure out what they need to do
Exactly.
is always good.
Some sort of flow chart would be
Right.
helpful at this point.
I like that
Comment.
suggestion, yeah.
I want to see anything where it says go to walk. You know, I mean, come on. There's a little more defined than that, I think, you know?
Yeah. All right, any administrative items?
Mm-mm.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, all right.
What's the time?
6:22.
Got that turned off?